Bro, they put the sheer energy of the early 2000s into this opening. So if you think the world looked like Jet Set Radio before, yes, you are correct, it did. But let's get into this opening. The string trailing outside of the prisoner transport car is from Jolyne using Stone Free. This shot is referencing chapter 1. The same goes for everyone you can see in the car, especially this guy, who Jolyne said looked like Tom Cruise. Personally, I don't see the resemblance. In the middle of this, we see a couple of cute callbacks. Here, this zipper and where it's located calls back to Bruno Bucciarati using his stand Sticky Fingers to escape the trolley to get away from Giorno back in chapter 7 of Golden Wind. Right here, you can see the little graffiti that says Lucky Land, which refers to Lucky Land Communications, which is Araki's personal manga studio. And you also see this little hand symbol, and while that is Jotaro's staple and you know it for being Jotaro, that's actually the Lucky Land symbol. Next, we get a beautiful look at the logo before a transition into two long lines of prisoners. The tag MA152403 is actually a nod to Weather Report's character, and he is prisoner MA152403. After that, we have Jolyne in a cell with someone already in it, and that someone is Guess, the stand user of Goo Goo Dolls. Keep that in mind because this part, where Jolyne is being blasted at by cops while also being very small, is a reference to the same arc. It's chapter 4 of Stone Ocean, and these guards are the female ward security staff that are supposed to be in charge of keeping people from escaping. We get a quick flash of the amulet that holds the piece of the arrow that was given to Jolyne from Jotaro. The following things we see are Loco Barocco and his alligator puppet Charlotte from chapters 3 and 4, the unnamed guard from the strip search staff, Mucha Mueller, Mew Mew, the stand user of Jailhouse Lock who debuted in chapter 96. There's the lady known as the caterer from chapter 5 holding a large drink and a case. The large cup is most likely Foo Fighters' drink taken by that one blonde in the Marilyn Manson arc, chap 34. And the case is most likely a case of food since, they serve food, they're the caterer. These prisoners are from the There's 6 of Us arc. This pose with Jolyne, Foo, and Hermes is from volume 4 of Stone Ocean, Go Foo Fighters. Emporio, Weather Report, and Anasui standing together like this references the Hermes sticker arc where they all met up in Burning Down the House, specifically chapter 24. That felt marker that says Araki most likely references the fact that the parts ahead of Stone Ocean are only manga, because behind this pen we get references to parts that have already been animated. The shovel is Luca's shovel from Golden Wind. This shovel is essential because the fight single-handedly kicks off the events of Golden Wind. Except if the epilogue, if you want to get really technical about it, because please don't. The 6 to 12 sign is from when Dio had tried to cut off Jotaro's head in their fight in Stardust Crusaders. There's a pencil, and since there isn't any other reference to part 4 in terms of items, I guess that this refers to Rohan, but there is a peace sign and a heart in the back that refers to Josuke, so that still works anyways. The orange juice and that Mars bar on the table is actually also a reference to Burning Down the House. The doll is Erina's doll from Phantom Blood. This item references a pivotal moment where we first see Jonathan Joestar, and the first thing he did was defend Erina. The Walkman is Joseph's. We see it used at the end of Battle Tendency and throughout Stardust Crusaders. Foo Fighters playing catch with Jolyne in the courtyard with these basketballs and money raining down is also referencing the Marilyn Manson arc. People have been missing this one, but this shot of Jotaro also has a little picture of Iggy if you really see it. And in addition to that, you can see the word crazy with a diamond symbol right next to it, which is referring to Crazy Diamond, the stand of Josuke Higashikata of part 4. This room is the room where Manhattan Transfer stand user John Gallier traps Jotaro and Jolyne. This stand right here is Manhattan Transfer. This shot of Jolyne and Jotaro looking up at the vent is a potential reference to this panel in specific from The Visitor Part 7. Then we get another transition with the amulet. Now this shot of Jolyne in awe inside of the disc reflection and the transition to Star Platinum stand disc is most likely referencing Jolyne's reaction to Jotaro getting his stand stolen from him. This scene with Jolyne in the water hits us with multiple callbacks to previous openings. The space is similar to the one used in Stand Proud and End of the World. The fist to the face with that look that she's about to scream is a call to Joseph when he cries out to Caesar in the Battle Tendency opening, Bloody Tears. Bloody Stream. I didn't Castlevania, my bad. The glowing fist of Standfire plus the stare is also most likely a call to Jonathan in the Phantom Blood opening, whose fist is lit on fire because it references the fight between him and Dio on the castle. Now her stare also matches Jonathan, Joseph, and Jotaro, who all did that same stare in their first opening. Then it cuts to a shot of Jolyne from the side, and her stand stone free pops right out of her body in the same way that the Crusaders did it in the Stand Proud opening. Oh my god, this part is one of my favorite references. Now, we actually get a blink if you miss it type moment, but this shot is actually a fantastic reference to this art piece on Weekly Shonen Jump issue 8. Next, we get Hermes running on bullets with the stand disc falling around everyone. I think that this is a harder call, but I think this might be referring to Emporio's ghost gun that had its bullets duplicated by Kiss. This situation, though, it happens in the Made in Heaven arc. Like, that's a really far out arc. I almost forgot to mention, there's these clouds with rainbows coming out of them, and this could be a reference to something like Heavy Weather, or it's a reference to this volume cover, or it's the fact that you're watching JoJo and we already knew about you. Next, you have Foo Fighters coming up in their original form. You might miss it if you're not looking at it like frame by frame, honestly. Then you have this part where they're shooting from their plankton gun, referring to when they used it, or just more so created the plankton gun back in chapter 54, Kiss of Love and Revenge, part 4. The poses that Jolyne does here look highly familiar, but this one in specific is referencing the cover of chapter 72. It's just not upside down, and it was actually used again in Eyes of Heaven, if you remember that. The nuts and bolts are from the Lang Wrangler fight. We get that confirmed with the next shot with Weather, because that's Lang Wrangler right there. Where it looks like Jolyne is walking on water and plankton are everywhere, that's a call to when Jolyne and Fu fought for the first time. The shed is the shed where Pucci keeps all of the stand discs and where everyone was fighting on the outside of it in the There's Six of Us arc. Next, though, is previous part Callback City, which is a terrible name for a city, but you get the idea. The bloody stone mask is the mask that Dio used to turn himself into a vampire, but the blood splatter looks like it's from when Jonathan and Dio first No, I disagree with my past self. Where I remember this wasn't when Dio got beat or when he turned into a vampire. There was way too much blood then. This references chapter 1 of JoJo with the sacrifice that wasn't adapted into the anime. This panel, this old ass panel, this was a way harder callback. The Redstone of Asia and the faint image of Wamuu in the back is calling to Battle Tendency and the Pillarmen. This thing turning into rubble and smoke is Dio's body coming into contact with sunlight at the end of Stardust Crusaders, and the shot over the city is Cairo, where Jotaro and Dio had fought. In this shot, you can honestly see Stray Cat, Sheer Heart Attack, the coin that blew Shigechi up, Crazy Diamond, Echoes Act 2 in the hand, all in this one area. The pink flower petals and flowers everywhere reference volumes 54 and 55 of Golden Wind. It's also used in Golden Wind's openings. They also could refer to these flowers that help cover the friends' bodies that have passed in Golden Wind, if you remember that. The arrow with the beetle is also present here. People happen to call this the Requiem arrow a lot because it was the same arrow that gave us Chariot Requiem and Gold Experience Requiem. It's an easy name to call it. Like, I'm not the one to have a problem with it. We know it's just an arrow with a higher dosage of the virus, but giving it a name isn't really that bad by any means. And finally, the Jotaro behind Jolyne is the same one that we see in Stand Proud and End of the World. So he's posting up in that same spot, and Jolyne goes on to make her own callback to Stone Ocean Volume 1. And then for our final shot, we get the prison located in Florida, the Florida man of the United States. Now, I definitely think that this is going to be an opening that is added onto when the key moments will happen in the anime. And we're gonna see all types of stuff. They probably will change the whole opening, but like a lot of things that we see here will probably carry over in Translate. Like they'll transition to their own little thing. That's what I believe. But comment what you think is gonna happen. Comment your thoughts on the opening. I honestly love it. It's amazing. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully I'll see you all on the next one. Until then, peace out and Godspeed.